Today's video is a no-holds-barred, under-the-hood look at online privacy in 3 parts. It's unlike anything we've ever done or seen. If you're on the fence about your privacy online, or you feel like it doesn't matter, or you just don't care, this video is even more important for you. Here's the outline. Part 1. Why your privacy matters. Part 2. How search engines and every site track you. Part 3. What free tools can help you protect your privacy. First, Part 1. Why your privacy matters. A 2-minute journey into the truth. An excerpt from legendary journalist Glenn Greenwald's TED Talk.
Over the last 16 months, as I've debated this issue around the world, every single time somebody has said to me, I don't really worry about invasions of privacy because I don't have anything to hide, I always say the same thing to them. I get out a pen, I write down my email address, I say, here's my email address. What I want you to do when you get home is email me the passwords to all of your email accounts. Not just the nice, respectable work one in your name, but all of them. Because I want to be able to just troll through what it is you're doing online, read what I want to read, and publish whatever I find interesting. After all, if you're not a bad person, if you're doing nothing wrong, you should have nothing to hide. Not a single person has taken me up on that offer. I check that email account religiously all the time. It's a very desolate place. And there's a reason for that, which is that we as human beings, even those of us who in words disclaim the importance of our own privacy, instinctively understand the profound importance of it. It is true that as human beings we're social animals, which means we have a need for other people to know what we're doing and saying and thinking, which is why we voluntarily publish information about ourselves online. But equally essential to what it means to be a free and fulfilled human being is to have a place that we can go and be free of the judgmental eyes of other people. There's a reason why we seek that out, and that reason is that all of us, not just terrorists and criminals, all of us have things to hide. There are all sorts of things that we do and think that we're willing to tell our physician or our lawyer or our psychologist or our spouse or our best friend that we would be mortified for the rest of the world to learn. We make judgments every single day about the kinds of things that we say and think and do that we're willing to have other people know, and the kinds of things that we say and think and do that we don't want anyone else to know about. People can very easily in words claim that they don't value their privacy, but their actions negate the authenticity of that belief.
To end Part 1, it's time to look at my personal privacy postulate. Years ago, as a college undergrad, I came up with this theory on personal privacy. I've never shared this stuff with anyone other than my professor at the time. It was just for a college class, and the internet was just a baby. No one was even thinking about privacy or tracking. We were still excited when someone emailed us. So, the reason we're talking about this now, and how it relates to your privacy and internet tracking, is because understanding that there are different levels of privacy is key to understanding what's at stake every day to us all when we surf the web. It doesn't matter whether we're shopping or on social media, doing online banking, checking our stocks, or just looking at cat pictures. It's important to be aware of what's really going on behind the scenes at nearly every website today. So, I have a small request. As we touch upon this stuff, please think about how the 7 levels of privacy relate to your own life. Let's get to it. Level 1, the public stuff. These are things openly revealed to anyone whether we choose to or not. They're things like our hair, our skin, our eye color, our height, our weight, our age, what hand we write with, and so on. Level 2, the mostly public. These are things we reveal to most anyone. This includes generally harmless things like your first name or your favorite sports team. Level 3, the somewhat private. These are things we reveal really to a few people. Our home address, our social security numbers, our full date of birth. We give this information on a truly as-needed basis. That's it. Level 4, the private. These are things we reveal only to friends. Perhaps our religion, our political affiliation, or names of people with whom we're interested in intimate relations. Level 5, the highly confidential. These are things we reveal only to highly trusted friends, spouses, or partners. Perhaps it's a drug or gambling addiction, health issues, our sexual proclivities, or maybe things that we're generally embarrassed about. Maybe you're a 40-year-old man who still likes playing with his Teddy Ruxpin dolls. Level 6. The top secret and classified. These are things we reveal only to ourselves. Things most of us would like to carry to our graves before admitting to anyone. Often these things revolve around sexuality or fetishes or interpersonal relationships. But they can also be things like you were once secretly a Nazi concentration camp guard. These are things that we often feel like would wreck our lives. Level 7. The restricted access. These are the things buried so deeply we don't even admit them to ourselves. If we do, it takes years or decades or perhaps a lifetime. Now that we've gone through the 7 levels of privacy, think about how these relate to what you do online, whether you're doing a search, whether you're looking up something at a website, doing research. How do those things categorize in these 7 levels? And do you want the websites that have this information to be able to track and store and relate and build a profile of you as a person? That's your privacy online. That's what's at stake. Let's get started. Part 2. How search engines and every site track you. Okay, so first thing we'll be doing is opening Google Chrome and doing a search at Google for home bedding supplies Pottery Barn. We're going to skip over the ads at the top and go straight down to the real Pottery Barn bedding page. So this is what happens even if we don't specifically click an ad. We're just going to Pottery Barn's site from a Google search. So we're going to look at some of these bedding options just as if we're doing real searching and real shopping here. Just cruise down the page, look around. We're just shopping. So what's happening behind the scenes though as we're shopping is Pottery Barn is setting dozens of tracking pixels. Dozens. I'll show you those in a second. In the meantime, we're just going to make sure that those pixels get set so we can see what happens if we were a regular consumer unaware of what was happening. So we've closed our browser. We're going to reopen it, and now we've never been to Yahoo, but we're going to go back to Yahoo. So we've only been to Google, we've only been to Pottery Barn, but lo and behold, now when we go to Yahoo, an independent, different company, different search engine, look at that. There's a Pottery Barn ad. So how has this happened? Is there any collusion between Google and Yahoo? No, there's nothing directly going on. It's these third-party tracking pixels that are being set at Pottery Barn that are then being picked up by Yahoo that are making these ads display. And now the jaw-dropping part. How bad the tracking really gets. A visual map of how the companies interconnect, watch what you do, and stalk you like prey. Okay, so our next stop is going to be Firefox rather than Chrome. The reason why we're using Firefox at this point rather than Chrome is because there are some tools that exist for Firefox that don't as yet exist for Chrome. So one of those tools is called Lightbeam. Lightbeam lets you see who's tracking you online, and more importantly, it starts to show visually some of these relationships like the ones that we just saw in Chrome where, hey, we did a search at Google, and now seconds later we've got ads for what we just searched showing up in Yahoo. What's going on here? So we've got Lightbeam installed. We're going to restart our browser and watch how some of these relationships start to take shape. So as you can see, we've got 0 sites visited, 0 third-party sites. This is a clean browser. Nothing has happened yet. So next stop is open another version of Firefox. We'll put these side by side so we can see the website we're visiting along with all the third-party relationships and all the other stuff that's happening behind the scenes. So we've just gone to Yahoo, we searched for Pottery Barn bedding, and already, as you can see on the left, we have 1 site visited and 12 third-party sites contacted about our visit. What's so fascinating about one visit to one web page that all these different companies would want to have a piece of the action? Well, let's now watch what happens when we get to Pottery Barn. We've now visited 2 sites, but watch the third-party connections skyrocket. We're now at 72 third-party sites connected. We visited 2 sites, 73. Okay, now we're going to go to Nordstrom. We're going to just do some more looking around as if we're just shopping the web, just cruising around. And before you know it, the connections are going up 77 and on and on and on. It's going to continue to go. So if you look at that little graph in the left next to the word daily, this is starting to show the visual map of these relationships forming. Here we are now up to 82 third-party sites connected from visiting 3 companies. What is going on? Why are they doing this? So as we start to go through different websites, different properties, we'll go now to restoration hardware. I'm just picking some as if we're basically shopping for bedding to show what happens over the course of just a few minutes of doing a little bit of online shopping and the degree of tracking and how pervasive it is. We're basically being stalked like prey. And it's sites like Lightbeam that let us recapture some of this, recapture some of our privacy. So now we're going to go, we've visited a total of 21 sites, and 157 third-party sites have been contacted from our 21 company webpage visits. So here's a visit to Volkswagen. We went to VW.com. VW.com, as you can see in the right, connected to 38 sites since our first access. So we've got all these different companies that many of them I haven't even heard of. We've got Google APIs at the top. We've got Google ad services. We've got, you name it. Yahoo is in on the action. We never even went to Google in this browser. That was sort of the point. Yet here is Google putting their mitts in the action so that later, if you go back and do Google searches or what have you, they can remarket and try to resell you the things that we just looked at. So it's pervasive. And this is just one site. This is just Volkswagen. You know, we went to, as you saw, we went to Restoration Hardware and Pottery Barn, and then behind the scenes I went to VW and a bunch of other sites. But all in, I just visited 21 websites. It was sort of a normal everyday day of web browsing. You know, you're looking at bedding, maybe looking at buying a new car, what have you. And here we are, just covered, littered. Our computer is littered with cookies, littered with tracking. And every one of these, Facebook, T.co is a Twitter-related website. They're all there trying to track what we do online, monitor where we go, what we do, and ultimately invade our privacy of what we're doing. Now, keep in mind, this isn't anything nefarious. This is just us out doing shopping. If we're doing things like going to Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or looking at kidney function and having problem perhaps going to the bathroom, the same thing is going to be happening there too. No matter what we search for, no matter what we click, these companies are looking at what you're doing. Part 3. What free tools can help protect your privacy? Okay, so what I've done behind the scenes is cleared out Firefox, gotten rid of all the cookies that we just visited, and went back to Yahoo just to pick up the whatever was set at Yahoo. So now we're going to search for Firefox Better Privacy. Better Privacy is this absolutely incredible free tool just available for Firefox, but the interesting thing is it protects all of your browsers. What we're doing is adding this thing specifically to get rid of super cookies. These are the kinds of cookies that cross browsers. So something that we do in Firefox is then available in Chrome or in IE or anything else. So there it is, Better Privacy, the super cookie safeguard. And look at this. I've never gone to Hulu. Yet here I have all these cookies set for player.hulu.com. And all we did was hit Yahoo. Yet these things were set. So now this player.hulu stuff is available in Chrome, it's available in Opera, it's available everywhere. And it's only through some tool like Better Privacy are we even able to be aware that this kind of tracking is going on, because they're not set with the regular cookies. So even after I cleared the cookies, they're still there. So here we have this set to always ask before we, or as we're closing, as you'll see here in a second, as we're closing Firefox every time, Better Privacy is going to ask us, here it is, do you want to delete these 5 LSOs, these 5 permanent cookies? Yes, we want to get rid of them. And it's only through the use of tools like Better Privacy that we're able to get this privacy back. So next on our agenda is we're going to be opening Chrome and taking a look at another tool that's available in Chrome. A lot of these tools are available across browsers, and this is one that is available for almost every browser. It's called HTTPS Everywhere. HTTPS, if you're not familiar, is the thing that secures the connection between you and whatever website you're visiting. So HTTPS everywhere is available from the EFF, a great organization. The EFF has put together this thing that will automatically try to connect you to an HTTPS version of any website you visit. So if you're in a coffee shop, if you're at home, whatever, it makes it much, much more difficult for snoops and for prying eyes to be able to pick up what you're doing. It's available in all kinds of different browsers. We'll show that at the end of the video here. So now that we've looked at that, we're going to go pick up Privacy Badger. Privacy Badger is another EFF plugin. Here we're using it for Chrome. It is another absolutely outstanding tool. This is one of the ones I can't recommend strongly enough. So we're going to add the Privacy Badger. And as you'll see in a second, what it does is it learns what's happening with tracking. So here's one of the things we want to read. You might see that the first time you get all green, don't worry. So he's learning what's happening behind the scenes with these companies that are tracking you. So as you see something turn red, it's blocking it. So if you ever want to turn something from green to red to green, you certainly can. But the idea is to let the Privacy Badger, it's not sending any data back to the EFF. This is all happening on your own local computer, and it's figuring out the same kinds of connections that we just saw earlier with Lightbeam. It's figuring this stuff out and blocking it automatically, preventing the kind of tracking that we saw with Lightbeam from even being able to take place. It just takes a few web page visits for it to start to make these types of connections and start to block them. Here we go, 155 cookies in use. So it starts to be able to block them very quickly. So in the top right corner you can see the Privacy Badger is green, and we're going to just cruise throughout the Pottery Barn site like we did earlier, let the cookies be set, let it happen, and then we're going to visit some other websites, let the cookies be set there, except now the Privacy Badger is monitoring what's happening for us, and it's going to start to turn some of these greens into red as it figures out that there's privacy invading stuff happening. So now we've gone over to Best Buy, and look at that. In 2 web pages now, Privacy Badger has figured out that DoubleClick is trying to make relationships between our browsing habits. We didn't have to do anything except install this plugin. So now we're going to go over to a high-end designer shoe line. Giuseppe Zanotti is like Pottery Barn, one of the most ubiquitous users of tracking cookies. And here we go, through visiting 3 websites now, the Privacy Badger is really starting to kick in. Here's Facebook getting in on the action, and it's starting to say, wait a minute, there's privacy invading stuff happening, and we're going to stop it. At any point, if you ever want to help it along, you certainly can. You can turn some of these from green to red, and green to yellow, what have you. If you see things breaking, you see something not working like you expect it to, no problem. Open up the Privacy Badger settings. They're one click away. You can find the website you're looking for and turn it from red to green to allow the tracking to happen on that particular site again. The point is, though, this is a tool that lets you get in control again. It's not just your data out on the market to the highest bidder, out there being shopped and you being stalked like prey. It's through tools like this that you can start to say, you know what, I'm not okay with somebody following me around and writing down everything that I'm doing. I'm not okay with that. These tools exist because the type of tracking that's available today online is much more invasive and much more pervasive than anything in real life. Anything out in stores, nothing like this compares to what's happening online. So we've got the HTTPS everywhere engaged, we've got the Privacy Badger engaged, and through these 2 tools in Chrome, we're able to swing the pendulum back in our favor again. Now back over to Amazon, one of the most offensive users of tracking in the entire world. So here we are looking at Privacy Badger again. Let's see what Privacy Badger shows. 23 potential trackers on this page. And because of the relationships that we've already established through these other web pages, the Badger's figured out we don't need these. All these are doing is tracking our online behavior. Let's stop that from happening. All happened automatically. We didn't need to take any extraordinary measures. We installed one piece of software, and now our privacy has been reclaimed as much as we can. If you're beginning to feel a bit like you're being stalked like prey, the truth is, you are. We're not just talking about your shopping habits. For many people, what you do online in the privacy of your own home isn't just a look inside your mind. What we do online is a look at our greatest hopes and deepest fears. Our medical condition, our relationship status, our political affiliations, our religious beliefs, our financial issues, our addictions, our curiosities, even our family. In other words, your personal information. As we like to show, this stuff isn't a theory in a lab. These sites, and others just like them, are lurking in every corner of the internet, under the pretense that everything is above board and on the up and up. But I think we've shown today it's not. They're lining up to buy and sell your information and your privacy. Right now, right this second, literally right this second, your information is being sold to the highest bidder. They're constructing profiles of your online habits and, make no mistake, they're linking them to your real life ones too. If you're okay with your information being shared like that, I'll make the same offer that Glenn Greenwald makes. Email me all your passwords. All of them. I'll publish whatever I find interesting. Here's my real email address. But if you're not okay with sending me your passwords, stop sending your personal information to companies who aren't even honest enough to ask for it. But they sure will take it from you and buy it and sell it and make money from the profile they've constructed of you at your expense. You've got the power now to stop them. It's free. It's easy. You've even got a step-by-step guide. Do it now. Here's your checklist. Number 1, get better privacy for Firefox. Number 2, get the Privacy Badger for Firefox, Chrome, or Opera. Number 3, get Lightbeam for Firefox. And number 4, get HTTPS everywhere for Firefox, Chrome, or Opera. For a list of the free privacy tools we've discussed today, go to duck.ly/privacy. That's duck.ly/privacy. I'll email you a list of links to them all. What you do with what you just learned today is up to you.